Welcome to my outdoor adventurous activities, risk and environmental factors of outdoor adventurous activities. So, first of all, bouldering. Bouldering is very similar to rock climbing, however, it is done without a harness. So, bouldering consists of climbing up a rock face with nothing stopping you from falling. So, the personal protective equipment could be is chalk, climbing shoes, soft mats. No one is allowed on the mats when other climbers are climbing. So one piece of safety equipment needed is safety mat. This is crucial as it is very easy to fall when bouldering. Therefore, a mat can help athletes and brace the fall and could save them from breaking a bone or having any other injuries. Climbing gloves are very important as they will help to protect you as an athlete. Uh, protect your hands when facing the rock faces and climbing up the wall. One other piece of equipment needed is chalk, as this will help the athlete to grip the wall without having sweaty hands all over it and make for a better grip. If someone was to get injured bouldering, then it is very important to remove them from any other danger they are in. Uh, this is key to check for neck or back injuries, and if they have a neck or back injury, then they'll need support for the neck and their back. An ambulance must be called if necessary, and the athlete shouldn't move in case of any other injuries, which should be worse. If a participant falls, check for any dangers and check for a response. Uh, Call the emergency services and put them into a recovery position and support their neck until the emergency services arrive. However, environmental factors for bouldering could be climbing onto the rock face and eroding it. So most bouldering is done inside indoor centres now, which is protecting the rocks and stopping them from eroding them. This is also protecting natural habitat. So having bouldering centres indoors is good because it is helping the natural habitat on the rock face to survive and also helping the rock sustain longer periods due to having less erosion. So, bouldering is mainly done indoors, which now prevents the rock faces from getting destroyed by the chalk and the climbers' boots or shoes digging into the rock face and also putting pressure on the rocks by all of the climbers. So here's the risk assessment for bouldering. I feel the risk assessment from bouldering is good, however, it doesn't cover the fact that athletes could very easily pull or tear muscles when bouldering. This could be done due to poor warm-ups, and to prevent this, they should ensure warm-ups are completed to fully stretch and promote blood flow to the athlete's muscle. If this is not done, then the athletes could very easily fall and hit themselves on the rock. I feel to save the environment, all bouldering should be done inside. This makes the sport a lot safer and will save rock faces from being polluted by um, chalk from the climbers. The climbers will also damage the rock by simply climbing onto it, so it should be done inside. Next is skiing. In skiing, the personal protective equipment is helmet, ski boots, ski trousers, ski poles, ski coat, and goggles. The ski helmet um, will protect the skiers if they fall and hit their head. Um, and falling in skiing is very common if you're a beginner, so this is crucial and will prevent any head injuries. Knee guards will protect the skier from falling and hitting their knees hard if on hard snow or ice or on a rock. Um, the environmental factors are destroying natural habitat, snow cannons, new lifts drilling into the mountains, and creating emissions. So instead of building new lifts and drilling into the mountains, the skiers should, or the ski federations and committees should update the lifts that they already have so it can cater for more people, although not build a new lift because that will be eroding more rocks and damaging the more environment. So emergency procedures: if the skier has an accident, put the skis across in an X shape and wait for the emergency helicopter or services. If there is an accident by a lift or on the slope, contact one of the lift operators as soon as possible. However, in the meantime, while you're waiting for the lift operator or the emergency services, it is important to put the patient in a recovery position. However, if they have a neck or back injury, then just support them and to make sure that their airway is clear. So if someone was to get injured on the slopes, you should check that they're in no danger of they're in no further danger of being injured. For example, if they're stranded in the middle of slopes, then they can get knocked by another skier. Then, if they're in a safe position, you should signal to someone to notify the ski patrol to send assistance. They will then check for any other dangers and treat the injury. So I feel that the risk assessment is good because collisions with other skiers happens a lot, although the control in place could be a lot more. So it could be easier to check for emergency services and make it easier to contact. So skydiving. So in skydiving, the personal protection equipment is parachute, the instructor, the helmet, and the goggles. So the instructor is part of your personal protective equipment because they will be telling you the position to safely fall in, and they will be guiding you of when the parachute will be released, and also comfort you in the landing. If the parachute, so the emergency procedures, if the parachute does not open and released, then the emergency parachute will be released and land in the safest possible space. So the environmental factors are plane air pollution, building industry on a field, and plane taking off on a grass runway. So due to the planes being smaller than the normal plane, they are taken up in a small plane, and the small plane takes off on a grass runway. So this could kill natural habitat that are living on the grass and also kill the grass itself. However, there are new planes such as gliders which don't have an engine. So although um, the plane turn, the glider will cause air pollution up in the air. Once the glider is up in the air, it is causing no air pollution. So here is the risk assessment for skydiving. So one of the hazards is landing in an unwanted place such as forest or water, parachute not activating, plane emergencies, and collision with other spectators when landing. So I feel the risk assessment for skydiving is good, seeing as they have the plane emergency and the parachute not activating on it. However, there is no hazard of or no warm up on the risk assessment, as when falling and opening your arms, if you do it too quickly due to the pressure, then you could tear a muscle in your arm or in your chest, and this would be bad because you're tearing a muscle, but it's not stated on the risk. So personal protective equipment for a biker is helmet. This will protect the head um, of the biker if he were to fall off. Arm pads and knee pads to protect the arms and knees if the biker falls off, and biker shoes to help grip the pedals and to grip the bike more easily and therefore reduce the risk of falling off. So if the biker has an accident, the biker should be placed in the recovery position by fellow bikers. However, if the biker has a neck or back injury, then the fellow bikers should leave them in the same position and call the emergency services, however, making sure they are conscious and they can breathe. So, the environmental factors for mountain biking: destroying natural habitat, destroying the mountains and the mountain's aesthetics. So, as the mountain bikers do their route on the mountains, then they're destroying it and eroding it by the bike skidding. And if they're like biking up a rock, then it could be eroding the rock surfaces, destroying the natural habitat. So you're also destroying a creature's life and other life that live on the rock or on the pathway. So when people come for walks on the mountains, this is going to ruin the aesthetics of it. So the mountain isn't going to look good and it's not going to be preserved for long. So I feel that the risk assessment is for mountain biking is good because they have all the factors covered when on the route, such as falling off the bike or equipment failure and poor light conditions. However, I feel the risk assessment is bad because they don't have the warm up on there. So, due to the legs being worked a lot during cycling and with no proper warm up being in place to get the muscles stretched and the elasticity in the muscles and the blood pumped into them, the chance of pulling a muscle when climbing up a steep mountain, putting all the pressure through the muscles in the legs, is very likely. So I feel that could be an improvement on the risk assessment for mountain biking. So that was my risk and environmental factors of outdoor adventurous activities.